He made statements several meetings ago in defense of teachers. His statements were not about Charlie Kirk. Understand that. That's the red herring that they want you all to fall for. Mr. Ferguson's statements were in protection of the teachers that teach here in this school district. Our state wants to punish teachers for what they say when they're not on the clock, when they're living their lives, when they have a right to express their opinions. We don't argue that you have the right to limit what they say when they're in the classroom. But once they leave and the school day ends, their right to free speech does not evaporate. And that's exactly what this governor, our commissioner on the Board of Education, that's what they're hoping will happen here. Anybody that supports having Mr. Ferguson unseated are not proponents of free speech. They're hypocrites. They say this is a great country because we have these freedoms. But as soon as you say something they don't like, they want you banned. They want you canceled. They want you unseated. I'm not concerned so much about Mr. Ferguson being unseated. Because if you look at the statute, he can only be unseated if he's, engaged in certain dereliction of duties, malfeasance. Stating an opinion, acting in defense of teachers in response to an ill-advised memorandum by the Commissioner of Education, it's not malfeasance. I watched the video a couple of days ago. The Commissioner of Education actually showed up to the Alachua County School Board meeting. That was simply a threat or an act of intimidation. That's all it was. Alachua County is one of the few school districts that has decided to stand up and fight against this oppressive education board and this governor. They don't like it. And the fact that he thought it was necessary to show up lets me know that they know that there's nothing they can do to them except for to threaten and intimidate. That's exactly what's happening here with Mr. Ferguson. They're looking to intimidate him. They're trying to control teachers. Does any of that sound like democracy to you? It can't be. That sounds like the tactics of the Russia they told us about when we were in school in the early 80s. Silencing individuals, going against the very Constitution that all of these elected officials swore to uphold when they gave their oath. This is not right. We're not going to stand for it. And we're here today to let the school board know that not only are we not going to stand for it, but we're going to challenge them to stand up and stand with their fellow board member. It pains me to know that I checked most of the media outlets. I haven't seen one statement by one board member or by the superintendent that denounces the threats that Mr. Ferguson received as a result of his free speech. No one. That's a problem for me. Because if you don't denounce it and you don't stand up publicly against it, that's an indication that you're for it. And if that's the case, you all need to be unseated more so than Mr. Ferguson. He has to sit up there every other week with these individuals, knowing that none of them publicly supported him. And even if they didn't want to support him, they should have at least denounced the threats against the lives of him and his family. That didn't happen. At least it's not as far as I know. So we're going to talk about that as well. We want to let them know, these teachers in this district, you all are here to protect and defend them. You large yourself as a school district with a family atmosphere. Well, when one family member gets beat up on, where I'm from, the rest of the family jumps in and helps. I don't see that happening here. But we're hoping today that we can send a message that will incite our board to protect its teachers. Because next to the students, the teachers are the most vital resource in this school district. Lower pay, bad hours, and a lot of work that's not justified in their pay. At the very least, you should be standing with them. At the very least, you should be protecting them. Not because you have a duty to do so, but because it's just the right thing to do. They come here to work for you every single day. stand with them. You should not leave your teachers out on an island like you're doing, Mr. Ferguson. They shouldn't stand alone. We're here, again, to send the message that we stand for free speech. We are going to defend our teachers. We're going to defend Mr. Ferguson. And we're going to encourage this school board to do the same. It's a shame that outside organizations have to do the job that the school board should morally be doing. And I understand there's a certain level of fear of retaliation by the governor, but so what? It's just retaliation. Every leader, when they step up and decide to run for office, understands that there's a certain level of angst that comes with it. There are going to be people who are going to fight to try to unseat you. That's par for the course. Don't use now as an excuse to go back on any political promises you made when you were running for the seat. Your teachers depend on you. Your constituents here in this county depend on you. One last thing. You know, a lot of us, we get the wrong idea of what the First Amendment says, right? The First Amendment does not give anyone the right to free speech. You're born with free speech. The First Amendment says that Congress should not make any law that prohibits or restricts the speech of others. So when the Commissioner of Education sends out a memorandum saying that if you say these things, you are going to be disciplined and possibly lose your certificate, what you're in a sense doing is violating the First Amendment because you are engaging in acts that restrict free speech. So who should be unseated? Mr. Ferguson, who's exercising the right, or the commissioner who's looking to discipline and threaten individuals who exercise that very right that he claims he's trying to protect? I'll yield. Anyone else?
Quick question.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry.
Why do you think it is that, like you said, no one is standing with Mr. Ferguson?
My initial thoughts is because they're cowards, honestly. We were here several months ago when they discussed DEI and rolling back the DEI policies here in the Palm Beach County School District. There was no reason for them to do it. There were several federal court cases that had already decided that the memorandum that told these school districts to roll back DEI was unconstitutional. So they knew that when they took the vote, but they voted instead. Why? Because there was a threat that they could potentially lose millions of dollars. But that's all it was, a threat. You don't lose millions of dollars without due process. Due process means you have a right to be heard in a court of law. So fight them and challenge them. If the memorandum that prompted the vote was found unconstitutional, why would you think going against that memorandum would somehow cost you millions of dollars? You already have the law on your side. So for them to do that, again, it's an act of cowardice. This board does not have a great history of pushing back. So we're challenging them to push back. We're hoping that Mr. Ferguson will be the catalyst to wake everyone else up on their board and get them in line to let them know that Palm Beach County will not be pushed around by the governor, by the Commissioner of Education, or by anyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh. Oh, I thought you called Mr. Reverend Whiteley.
We did.
Okay, I thought you did.
My name is Pastor Whiteley from Faith in Florida. I have the pleasure of organizing congregations. We organize close to 800 congregations in 43 counties throughout Florida. The reason why I'm here, and let me start with a scripture. The Bible tells us that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, a spirit of a sound mind. I think that what we see now is an attempt to scare us into being quiet. It's a tactic that I believe that certain individuals, and it's not everyone, it's a few very loud individuals that are hoping to push us into a corner and be fearful of exercising our First Amendment right. I'm also here to advocate for the teachers that's in our congregations who feel this sense of uh, wanting to speak out but can't because they have families that they need to feed. They have livelihoods to protect, and to have something like this happens that silences them. Someone has to stand out, and someone has to speak up for the voiceless, which is also mandated in Scripture for people of faith. You have to speak up for people who don't feel as if they have a voice now. And finally, Edwin Ferguson did not deserve for this to happen to him. He did not deserve to be threatened by outsiders, and the people who are threatening him and making these really, really horrific threats, they're not even from Palm Beach County. They're people from all the way across the United States. And I know what it feels like to be attacked personally, and there's no one there to say, we're standing with you. We're standing with you, right? And even if he was speaking for himself, I could say, okay, cool. But he was really advocating for the teachers, countless teachers, I'm imagining, that called them because they wanted to share how they feel on their personal time. On their personal time. They wanted to share about it in their congregations, but who knows who have a camera or who have a flip phone that's recording things and will put them out to be scrutinized. Now they're losing their opportunity to feed families. So we are here advocating for those teachers who need to be heard. And we're also here standing with Edwin Ferguson because, one, let me say it, Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be shot the way that he was shot. He did not, his family should not have seen that. His children are traumatized. There are a lot of people hurting. But in the same sense, right, Edwin Ferguson does not deserve the energy that he's getting from people outside of our community. So two things really can be true in the same space. I don't have to choose one side. And this is not a Democratic thing, a Republican thing. This is not party. This is a moral issue. We have to speak up for those who don't have the voice and those who feel as if they may be alone in this time. So that's all I got.
Pastor, I have a question for you. We obviously know that
It's an easy question. Don't give me no hard question.
It's an easy question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's more of your reaction. So the opposing people who were wanting Mr. Ferguson to be removed from his position, they're saying in the email, hate has no home here. Yet, there is a lot of death threats that you guys mentioned happening. As a pastor, what is your response to that? Whenever in that same sentence they're saying hate has no home here, but and not saying they're giving him death threats, but he is receiving death threats. What is your response to that?
What did he say that was hateful? I would ask them specifically, what hateful things did he say? What hateful things did he say? And here's the thing about free speech. Free speech applies if you don't like what someone said. It really applies. And that's when it should be applied, right? When you don't like them. I have family members that fought for this country, that died for this country. And what they say is, listen, I may not like what you say, but I put my life on the line for your right to say it. So we can't just be very selective in whenever you say something that I don't like or agree with, oh, that's hate speech. And I'm offended, so that, but that's the response. What did he say that was hateful?
Some would probably say it's because he called Mr. Kirk a racist bigot. That's probably what they would say.
Step back, Pastor. I'll take that one. When you make racist statements over and over again,
People got a right to say that.
I would deem you to be a racist. Because you were a racist when you lived, and you didn't denounce racism before you died, then you're racism in death. He was a racist. He was a bigot. And I didn't know him before he died. But when I went back and looked at the things that he said, I'm not going to cuss either, because that's why I pull you back.
Well, I'll come cuss.
But just because you're murdered doesn't make you a martyr for free speech. It doesn't change your stature as a person once you are no longer with us on this side. He was murdered. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wish he hadn't have been murdered and we wouldn't be standing here. We'd be standing maybe on some other issue, but he was murdered. And some people got upset because he was murdered, because he was saying what they liked. So now they want to find somewhere to take out their anger, because he stroked and stoked anger in them. He stirred up that racism in them. So now they want to apply it to other places because we don't agree with what he had to say. He was a racist. He was a bigot in life and in death. Death does not change it. So whatever he decided he wanted to be in life, he made that decision. And some may look at me and say, I'm a racist and a bigot. But guess what? They have the right to do that. It's their opinion. Their voices can call me what they want. But that doesn't give me the right to threaten someone's life. That doesn't give me the right to want to take somebody's life. That doesn't give me the right to want to take somebody's livelihood. Charlie Kirk was a racist.
Quick question. What's your reaction to hearing about the rally that's going to take place later on, and why do you think it's really going on?
Because they're angry. They're angry, and they want someone else to try to take it out on, because they don't have someone that will continue to stoke those fears in others, to promote racism the way it was being promoted. It was being promoted as though it was the Christian thing to do. I've been in church all my life, and the things that I heard this gentleman say, I would not consider them Christ-like.
Quick question. We've seen so much retaliation or so many consequences already happen on so many educators. The fact that it's been about a month and we haven't seen anything happen with Ferguson yet, does that speak on what may happen forward, that he might be in the clear here? What do you think?
Well, again, I'm going to say that the governor says he believes in free speech, and Charlie Kirk had the right to say what he wanted to say. And if he believes in free speech, then he says the same thing for our Commissioner Ferguson. He has the right to say what he wants to say. He was an elected public official, elected by this community. And if he said something so vile, then the community as a whole should be trying to remove him. And there's methods designed where the community could put that into process. But it's not happening.
Thank you. Hello?
My name is Chuck Ridley. I have a very simple message. It is time for all good people, of all races, of all ages, to stop standing on the sideline and come forward. You don't have to speak into a microphone, but come off the sideline. We have enough history to show us how to meet this moment in time. Oh, this is not new. We've seen this before as a country. And for those of goodwill who believe that democracy is still an experiment that should be expressed, come off the sideline. Join us. Allow your face to be seen. Don't run down the rabbit holes. Just come stand. The change we need in this country is not with us, it's with you. Come join us to make a stance that no longer will we tolerate any of this nonsense. Thank you all for letting me share.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Anything else that any of you would like to share? You good? No? No? Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hey. Okay. I was like, did I break it?
Let me see if I got this right. You a Zeta, you said?
No. I'm not a Zeta.
I messed that up.
Yeah.
Good alpha woman.
Thank you guys. So, where are you guys going to be before the meeting? Are you guys going to be out here?